Yo, what's going on, everybody? So last week I said in the What If Akatsuki discovered Itachi was a spy video that if the video could hit 1,000 likes, then I would have part 2 up in less than a week, or exactly a week from the day that it was posted. And sure enough, you guys hit the like button over 1,000 times. You hit it 3,000 times, and so I'm coming to you with part 2. And just as promised, if you're a Sasuke Uchiha fan, this What If is gonna have a bunch of moments in it where your inner Sasuke fangirl is gonna come out. And if you're a fan of Naruto has some pretty big moments here as well. Now, with all that being said, I just want to thank you guys for the support on the last video. Without any further ado, let's get into part 2 of What If Akatsuki discovered Itachi was a spy. News of the death of Itachi would spread to Konoha. The third Hokage would know immediately that Itachi was discovered as a spy. The only thing he could do was tell the other elders that Itachi attempted to gather information on an organization that could be proving to be trouble for Konoha in the future. Where things get really interesting is Sasuke himself. Sasuke was deeply affected by the Uchiha massacre and the parting words of Itachi. We know from the Sasuke Resident novel that Sasuke, even when he trained to kill Itachi and even when fighting Itachi, he never stopped loving his brother. News of Itachi's death would shake Sasuke to his core. He would now truly be alone. Everyone he'd ever loved would now be dead. Given this part of the timeline is still very early on in Sasuke's academy tenure, the news of Itachi's death could send Sasuke back into a shocked state similar to the one he had after the Uchiha massacre. It would be learning of Itachi's death and realizing that his chance for vengeance was gone that Sasuke would consciously awaken his Sharingan, since, as we all know, Sasuke unconsciously awakened his Sharingan during the Uchiha massacre but forgot the feeling. In this scenario, Sasuke would awaken his Sharingan and Sasuke would be conscious of it. In the years after this, with Sasuke believing that he's literally the last survivor of the mighty Uchiha clan, would make Sasuke train harder than ever before. The third Hokage would tell Kakashi that since Sasuke is the last survivor of the Uchiha clan, that Sasuke must develop into one of Konoha's brightest military assets. During the Land of Waves arc, Sasuke would likely pass the tree climbing training just as fast as Sakura, if not faster, leaving Naruto to train alone. But given his rivalry with Sasuke, Naruto would be driven to train even harder than he did originally. By the time of the battle on the Great Naruto Bridge occurs, Sasuke would be more than skilled enough that he could not only fight Haku to a standstill, but with having years to master his Sharingan, potentially with it being fully evolved, Sasuke would quickly gain the upper hand on Haku through a combination of the Eye of Insight, allowing him to predict Haku's movements, and the Eye of Hypnotism, being able to use advanced Sharingan Genjutsu. Haku would quickly fall in battle before Naruto even arrives at the bridge. With Haku out of the picture, Zabuza would quickly be killed by Kakashi. Gato would show up with his thugs with the intention of taking down Team 7, but with Naruto arriving in just the nick of time, Team 7 would quickly fight off Gato's men and take Gato into custody. Naruto, seeing that Sasuke had taken down Haku, who Naruto would have already met, would make Naruto extremely frustrated. If Sasuke killed Haku, which I do think is very likely, Kakashi's speech to Naruto about the lives of ninja would lead to Naruto still developing his ninja way, though while it would be the same, how we got to this point in the story will be a little bit different. Seeing Sasuke's insane progress would push Naruto all the more harder to catch up with him, but with Sasuke having a fully mastered Sharingan, it would be too big of a hurdle for him to overcome at this point in the story. By the time of the events of the Chunin exams, Sasuke, now having received true battle experience through his fight with Haku, would be more likely to fight evenly with Rock Lee without getting manhandled like he did originally, and later on he would be quicker to fight Orochimaru seriously in the Forest of Death. However, Orochimaru still would come out on top, giving Sasuke the curse mark. Because Sasuke wouldn't have hidden from Orochimaru early on, Naruto wouldn't have arrived until the fight was over and Sasuke already had the curse mark. This would mean that Orochimaru wouldn't mess with the jutsu sealing formula that's on Naruto's stomach, and Naruto would be awake during the Sound Ninja's attack. Instead of just relying on Sakura's carefully placed traps, Naruto would then be forced to battle the Sound Ninja. At this point, Rock Lee would likely arrive, and the two-man team will work in unison to fight off the Sound Ninja. Because we saw in the original manga that Sakura did attempt to chime in, throwing kunai at times in order to offer backup, I could see Sakura choosing to help even the playing field. Given how well Rock Lee did when he was fighting alone, I could see this three-man team being able to take down the Sound Ninja. This would mean that Sasuke would awaken from the curse mark with the same curse patterns that we saw before, but without any Sound Ninja to take out his aggression on. Sasuke would still call himself an Avenger and state that if it meant giving his body to the devil, then if it meant getting the level of power that he felt in that moment, he'd be completely okay with it. I could still see Sakura having her heart broken and grabbing hold of Sasuke, hoping to bring him back to his senses, which would then lead to the curse mark pattern going away instantaneously. Team 7 would still get the scroll from the Sound Ninja. Where things get really interesting is the fact that Naruto would see Sasuke in his curse mark state, and Sakura would have no choice but to tell him of what really happened to Sasuke. The only major change to the preliminaries is that Sasuke would manhandle his opponent even faster, even without the Sharingan. Given this version of Sasuke would be way more skilled, this battle would end a lot sooner. Later on in the story, the version of Sasuke who fought Gaara might very well be able to inflict some serious damage onto him a lot sooner and hold his own against him in battle outside the Chunin exams. However, Naruto would eventually be the one who takes down Gaara, which would have Sasuke extremely annoyed at Naruto's quick progress. The death of the third Hokage presents an even bigger change. Itachi would never show up to remind the Konoha elders that nothing had changed in the terms of their agreement. This very well could embolden Danzo to take out Sasuke. Sasuke was the only Uchiha left alive, at least the only Uchiha that Danzo knew of. It's very likely that Danzo will begin coming up with a scheme to have Sasuke killed off. Also, he could have his dream of having the entire Uchiha clan wiped out. No Itachi in this picture means that Kakashi wouldn't be rendered unconscious, but I still see Jiraiya proposing to have Tsunade made into the 5th Hokage, because Jiraiya would still look into Orochimaru's movements, and he would still discover the goal of the Akatsuki, which would cause him to take Naruto on his mission and tell Kakashi to focus on training Sasuke. There would be no major change that would occur until the Sasuke retrieval arc. While Sasuke would have some trouble with the influence of the curse mark, if we take into account the fact that Kakashi's words did seem to reach Sasuke for a moment, and he was only truly swayed to go to Orochimaru once he saw the Sound 4 use their curse marks, I could see Sasuke not being swayed by their words when they attempt to recruit him. This version of Sasuke would already be more skilled than the one who fought against the Sound 4 originally, and he wouldn't be distracted by hatred since Itachi would be dead, which leads me to believe that he could put up a much better fight in this scenario, which would lead to someone noticing it due to all the commotion that's caused by the battle. The Sound 4 would have no choice but to flee and rethink how they could best carry out their mission. Tsunade wouldn't be made aware of the Sound 4 being in Konoha. Given that this would be a move by Orochimaru, I could see Tsunade holding off on giving Kakashi the S-rank mission that she did originally, and she would put the village security first. Kakashi would be sent on a mission to track down the Sound 4 if they were still in the Land of Fire and bring them into custody. Because Sasuke would have intel on the Sound 4, I do believe that Sasuke would be included on this team. Shikamaru, being a newly made Chunin, could be the third member of the team. If it came to a battle, I feel pretty confident in saying that Kakashi would absolutely wreck the Sound 4 in a battle, even if they fought all together. While it would be really cool to see Kakashi battle the Sound 4 with Sasuke and Shikamaru as his backup, I don't think that this is going to be the case. This would also mean that Kimimaro wouldn't fight Rock Lee, but if he was dispatched, I could see a pretty awesome fight of Kakashi, Sasuke, and Shikamaru fighting against Kimimaro. In my opinion, the Sound 4 would choose to flee back to Orochimaru the moment that they learned Kakashi was after them. This would lead to another major change. Orochimaru would still have to take on another body, but now he wouldn't have Sasuke waiting in the wings to be his next host. Sasuke will remain in Konoha, gaining further control over his curse mark, and through training with Kakashi, his usage of the Sharingan would be absolutely insane. By the time that Naruto returns from training with Jiraiya, he would have closed the gap with Sasuke, but it will still be wide enough that Sasuke would still be seen as the vastly superior ninja. Meanwhile, Sasuke would still be in the village, which means that Sakura would never approach Tsunade to learn medical ninjutsu, and instead, Sakura would have trained to hone her natural talent for genjutsu, instead becoming just as talented talented in genjutsu as she was with medical ninjutsu. Meanwhile, Obito would have taken time to rebuild the Akatsuki during the time that would have passed between Itachi's battle with Pain and the current point in the story. Two Jinchuriki would still be sealed away. Sasuke very likely would be promoted to Jonin, and whatever plans Danzo had to have Sasuke killed off would likely be put on hold due to him trying to outmaneuver Tsunade in order to get into position to take Sasuke out. The mission to rescue Gaara would turn out to be much of the same, with the only differences being that with Sakura not being able to use medical ninjutsu, that whatever medic they sent there wouldn't be skilled enough to save Kankuro, which means Kankuro would die, and Kakashi would likely give Sasuke the ceiling tag. Kakashi and Chiyo would fight against Sasori, and it would make for a really fun interaction, given all of these characters have a connection to Kakashi's father, the White Fang. I could see Kakashi and Chiyo winning this battle with extremely high difficulty, with the main issue being Kakashi's stamina and the lack of a medic there to provide support for Sasori's poison. And it's possible that he uses his Kamui during the battle, likely to take out Sasori's heart once they discover what it is. Also, Kakashi will likely have to whip out some insane ninjutsu in order to fight off Sasori's 100 puppets, which would be really cool to see since Kakashi did copy over 1000 jutsu with the Sharingan. Sasuke and Sakura chasing Naruto, who would be on his hunt for Deidara, becomes really tricky since Deidara would be an extreme disadvantage. In any case, Deidara would be forced to flee, and Chiyo would eventually give her life to bring Gaara back to life. Sasuke being in Konoha means that the Tenchi Bridge arc would never happen, which means that Sai would never join Team 7. The next major change that would come would be when Orochimaru needs a new body. Once again, he would attempt to have Sasuke brought to him, sending out the Sound 4, who Kabuto likely would have used drugs to enhance their abilities during the 3-year time skip, just how Tsunade originally thought that Orochimaru did in order to make Sasuke progress at the rate that he did. However, once again, due to Sasuke being more powerful in this scenario, I could see Sasuke laying waste to all of the Sound 4, and Orochimaru will be forced yet again to take another body. He was still going to kill Asuma, but it will be in the aftermath of the battle with Hidan that Obito would make his move. Now, once again, down 3 Akatsuki members, he would have to approach Sasuke with the truth of Itachi being his trump card to get him to join the Akatsuki. Sasuke would be driven absolutely mad with the information, having old wounds reopened, and Obito would conveniently leave out the fact that Pain was the one who killed Itachi for being a spy, instead stating that he died on a mission serving the Akatsuki. Team Taka still being test tube subjects for Orochimaru means that Sasuke wouldn't have leverage when it comes to only forming an alliance. Instead, he would be forced to join the group itself. The truth about Itachi will be enough for Sasuke to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan. Back inside of Konoha, Tsunade would be placed in a really tough position. Sasuke would have mysteriously vanished from the village, leading to Danzo and the elders wanting Sasuke to be labeled as a rogue ninja. Kakashi and what remains of Team 7 would attempt to track down Sasuke, while Jiraiya would go on to the Rain Village where he would likely be killed off. Obito, pretending to be Tobi, would know better than to have Sasuke team up with Deidara due to Deidara's problems with Itachi, but instead a new rogue ninja would be made Deidara's partner. While Sasuke and Obito teamed up, the hunt for the Biju would lead to Sasuke and Obito eventually tracking down Killer B. Because this version of Sasuke is much stronger than the version of Sasuke fought B, Sasuke will be able to better hold his own against Killer B, but eventually Obito will have to step in order to suck B off into his Kamui dimension, and after beating him within an inch of his life, B would be captured. After B is sealed away, the Akatsuki would only have Naruto Uzumaki to worry about, needing only to capture the Nine Tails. I could see Obito going all in to capture Naruto, who would be training to learn Sage Mode to avenge Jiraiya's death. Pain's invasion would still occur, but the major difference is that Obito would likely have Sasuke join along, especially given the fact that Sasuke would want to crush Konoha. Sasuke returning to Konoha, setting blaze to buildings after building, using it as a Materasu, and slicing through people he once called comrades, slicing them in half with his katana, would grab the attention of Danzo and Tsunade, while Sasuke made his way to the Hokage office with the intention of killing the elders. Pain will lay waste to the village, which, just as the elders began to confront Tsunade, Sasuke would appear in each of their rooms and slice off one of their heads, but Sasuke would likely torture one of them into revealing Danzo's location, and then he would likely cut their head off as well. Kakashi would likely still die in the battle against Pain. While the hunt for Naruto continued, Sasuke would have to hack his way through the Root Ninja as he made his way down the underground passage that leads to Danzo's location. The battle of Sasuke versus Danzo would occur simultaneously as Naruto versus Pain raged on. After Naruto and Sasuke win their respective battles, Zetsu would likely split into two parts, quickly to replenish Sasuke's chakra. With his grudge against Danzo finished, Sasuke would carry out his other mission of capturing Naruto. Just before Naruto could enter Nagato's hiding place, Sasuke would appear out of the shadows. Seeing Sasuke in Akatsuki robes would baffle Naruto, but seeing Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan would let Naruto know that his eyes weren't playing tricks on him. Naruto would find himself in an intense battle with Sasuke, who Naruto would now have closed the gap between them. However, this is the end of part 2. I'm gonna tell you part 3 is absolutely insane. There is a major plot twist in part 3, so if you want to see part 3, I highly recommend hitting the like button, because if this video hits 2,000 likes, I will have part 2, and I will have part 2 out to you guys exactly 1 week from today, so next Monday. But that's only if we hit 2,000 likes, and it is hands down the most epic conclusion to any what if I've ever done on either one of my channels. And let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.